Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
Welcome to Real Life, everyone. What is going on right now?
I think that I'm in love with Matthew Kachuk.
Are you guys all drunk?
Welcome, everyone, to episode, once again, your Remchuk is still avoiding the grind, 395. Sure?
Is that for real or is that an estimate?
It's an estimate. Without your Remchuk,
close,
we've lost any kind of source of stats or proper or
it's
structure.
Around there. I defy anyone to prove that it hasn't been that.
You know who'd be able to get you the accurate numbers? Our good friends, the HGA group. If if we had them on the podcast, they would make sure it starts on time. They would make sure that
they get you the right numbers.
Get you the right numbers. They make sure that the ad reads are done. They make sure they hold us to task. They would just be really good because that's what HGA does. They support small business owners.
They do.
They do, Waz. They fucking do. You got it, buddy.
An exciting day.
So
what's this episode going to be called? Nothing to see here?
I think it's going to be called It's Up and Down Like a Toilet Seat. Thank you, Ken
Aloha.
Holland, to properly describe and visualize what this season has been so far. Hi, Bangmo.
That was something, wasn't it?
That was interesting. We're actually, so in the group chat, I'd like everyone to know everyone's thoughts because we like to open the kimono here on the Real Life Podcast and let you know what we're up to at Nation HQ from time to time. But in the Real Life group chat, there is a design for a Up and Down Like a Toilet Seat t-shirt. What are we thoughts?
It made me laugh out loud, to be honest.
Critiques?
It's quick. It came out quick.
Well, the funny thing is we're sitting here in the office, and this is why, and was thankfully tweeted that the podcast recording is delayed, even though, which no one knows when we record the podcast.
It's true.
So I asked him to let you guys know it's being delayed. Anyways, it's funny, but I guess he did via Twitter, so it worked. But we're all sitting around the TV watching the press conference, and it was just like, it was said, posted on Twitter. People are talking about a group chat fires up. People on Twitter talking about t-shirt. Kennedy was already starting to work on a design before I said, "Hey, we should let you see this chatter." She's like, "Oh my god, yeah, I've already got a good idea for this," and she was already kind of hammering it out. So it was
okay. We will have
to see
the words are not even out of his mouth. It's a t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just I think it's funny that as soon as it came out of his mouth, everybody at Nation HQ had the same idea. It's like, okay, t-shirt.
Yeah,
let's
like
go.
I'm calling, and so we had a NationGear meeting this morning, and so Jared's like, okay, so here's the deal, because I don't know if anyone knows, but there's supply chain issues all around the world, and everyone's affected by it. So I guess maybe you do know about this, but
is there a lack of trucks or something?
There's a lack. Okay, yeah, and there's a lack of t-shirt blanks. So we loaded up, and then what happened is We Are Pissy came out, and holy shit, there's a lot of fellow pissy people like myself, as I tweeted last night, that bought these t-shirts. Thank you for your support. So in this meeting, Jared's like, we need to come up with a hoodie design because we're running low on tees. Well, what happens 2 hours later? We've got an awesome t-shirt opportunity. So Jared's in the midst of traveling right now. He's at the airport. He's trying to source out some blanks because we think this one might pop, and we're getting ready.
So let's be true professionals here now, and let's paint the picture. Since this is such an audio medium and people don't know where we are, you guys have that meeting. Whatever. We all wake up today. We see a tweet from Darren Drager saying that he hears rumors that Tippett is out. It is then confirmed by the one and only Frank Saravalli. All shit hits the fan, and then there is what time did that press conference start? 12:30, 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, yeah.
1 o'clock. Postpones our podcast recording. Holland says what he says. You guys make a shirt at, and this is where we are right now.
And that's why we delayed the podcast.
How the day has gone so far.
That is it. And so now it's also paying attention to Twitter and engaging with Twitter since the announcement was made, and dealing with the news of Tippett and Playfair both being gone, and the fact that Jay Woodcroft and Mean Dave Manson are coming up to coach the big club.
I'm excited about
I
it.
was on an unrelated call and read on Twitter that Coach Tippett got fired, and I laughed. And the person I was talking to is like, "Why did you just laugh like that?" I'm like, "Why? What do you mean?" They're like, "You sound like a goblin or something that found gold." And I was like, you know what I mean? When you find out your coach has got greased for the 11th time in the Nuge's career. That laugh?
Oh, geez.
I did that laugh.
Poor Nuge.
Was it 12 coaches now? That was mentioned?
It's not 12. I don't think it's 12.
No,
It's
there was a
like
tweet
12.
sent out that
seven or
said
eight or
12.
something.
no,
It's 12.
no. There was a tweet that was sent out that said like Connor McDavid has had 4 coaches in 6 years. What's worse?
And then you just
Nuge
had 12
has had
coaches in 11
coaches
years.
in 12. No,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
true,
There was
'cause
one
Jason
game.
Gregor
He had
said-
3 coaches in one
That's right.
game. It's called the hat trick. It was Todd Nelson,
that's
Todd
so
Rundgren, and Todd
stupid.
Reardon, former Oiler.
Todd
headline. You know the spot we are.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think Chalmers.
No, I was thinking
Hot take by
headline.
Chalmers.
Oh,
It's
look who's back.
It's a headline world, and I don't like that tweet. That's 3 coaches in
no,
one game.
'cause
Give me a
It's
fucking
actually
break.
4 and 8. It's but you can it's just how it's framed and how it's pushed out, and it's to
I'm
get a
sorry,
reaction.
Did you
even
just
though
tell
it's
me
a
you don't like
drama.
my tweet to my ears, Chalmers?
It wasn't your tweet.
Wasn't your tweet?
Yeah, I'm the
I didn't
one
like that.
sassing it up. I thought you were making fun of me.
No.
No. I'm making fun of
The other guy
dude.
that tweeted
And
it was
then-
11?
No. We're talking
Yeah.
about something completely. We're talking about 4. We're talking about 4 coaches in 6 years for McDavid, which is inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Sure, you can parse it up and make it look and sound like that, but the reality is it's 4 and 8. But it's still equally terrible. So Chalmers is going after the headline Warriors.
Well,
Chalmers.
Well, I am.
for you, Chalmers. I got a headline for you, Chalmers. Oilers make coaching change. There's a headline.
But
Well,
okay, this is the tweet from Mike Trakos. It says 4 coaches in 7 years for McDavid. It gets worse. Nugent Hopkins is on his 12th coach in 11 years. Then Jason Gregor quote tweets it with the breakdown of the coaches. And it says RNH has entered the NHL in 2011, 2012. His coaches have been Rennie, Kruger, Eakins, McTavish, Nelson, McLennan, Hitchcock, Tippett. That's 8. Woodcroft is going to be his 9th head coach, not 12. He said, still crazy, 9 and 11.
yeah, it's still
It is
fucking
crazy,
insane.
but-
Like it's probably the craziest coach
I find that-
parade in the history of hockey.
How many GMs as well? Like, Jesus.
I like that this is the part that Chalmers is stuck on.
Yes, just so hung up on it. Wants to make the whole podcast about that.
Put some
one
fucking
tweet.
pride in your tweets, people.
Put some pride. Okay, and
If
then the other
everybody,
thing.
if everybody was held as accountable as I'm holding this fucking piece of shit, I'm just kidding. I didn't even know this guy, but still. Maybe the world would be a little bit of a better place. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so Dave Tippett got fired today. So did Jim play fire.
He did?
What was interesting too is just like how devastated Ken Holland was throughout the
Oh, it
press
was like
conference. right?
emotional because he's
Yeah.
never done it. He said it like 9 times in the press conference.
It was his gut feel.
I thought he was going to cry in the middle of the
Yeah,
press
like it
conference,
seemed
like-
emotion. The thing that scared me the most, now the toilet seat aside, was when asked, I think like Gregor and Rashog were going after him a bit just to talk about like the current roster of the team. Ken Holland's answer was the answer is in the room.
Well, it's also it's
Holy-
dollar in, dollar out, right? They can't do anything.
Holy
Got no they've got no
shit.
money.
So what like that means he's happy with our goaltending situation. That means he is happy with how soft we are. That means he is happy with, I guess, I thought we had depth, and I still think our depth has gotten better, but just better with just happy with the overall roster construction and the fact that, we're allowing so many shots, even though last night we didn't we shot more than we let in or let on and let in, I guess. No, it's wrong. That he's just happy with what we have right now. And that to me is a giant, giant, giant concern. Now I am happy to see what Dave Manson's going to come and do.
I love Dave Manson.
He's tough as nails, boy.
Well,
I love Dave Manson. He was a hell of an Oiler, man.
So Dave Manson, we had Bucky on the podcast, 2 summers ago. And because you always hear these tales of the old WHL days and the old Prince Albert Raiders. And on that team, there's the dynamic duo of Dave Manson and Ken Baumgartner. These two were tough as shit. And what they would do pregame to intimidate the other team is they would take their net from them and put it on their side. They would go and sit on the opposing team's net during warm-up. They would
Just
go
think about that.
They
Just
would
think
go
how
and
crazy
drink-
that
mental,
is.
they
mental
would go
clarity
and
with
drink
that.
the water from the other team's water bottles. And
Mental warfare.
Then this happened against the Moose Jaw Warriors, my beloved Moose Jaw Warriors, our beloved Moose Jaw Warriors. And this is and so much so they were causing so much havoc, and they were trying to incite a riot before the game, that the Dub for a while used to split the warm-up times, so you wouldn't be doing warm-up at the same time as the other team. And that is the
just to interrupt you briefly, Jay, if we can somehow through the magic of computers get Dave Manson on this show, which we should try to do, I'll call Gregor and ask. You have to ask him about this. You have to hold him. He's going to want to talk about being the assistant coach of the Oilers. You have to be like, no. I want to talk about when he used to sit on the net of the other team. What is going through your head?
Only, yes.
Can we do that in the NHL in 2022?
Then,
is the answer yes?
And then translate that into his NHL career. No one messed with Dave.
No one.
And now he's coming to our team. So the thing is he's coming. He's got it. He's got old school in him. It's just we don't have any old school minded players on our team. But we'll see what he can do. Maybe he can.
But he's adapted, right? He's done a good job in Bakersfield. Like he must have found somebody that's different as a coach than he was as a player. But he's got that fire.
100%. So like yeah. And then he's got his son, Josh Manson, which I really hope he whispers to come join the Oilers now.
I love how we always are like nepotism. And then Manson's here for 10 minutes and people on Twitter are like, get his son.
Well, that's what we need. We're not, oh God. Yeah. So
we need toughness.
Now we need toughness. And you know what?
Last night's game was so annoying for that. They were so easily pushed around last night. It was driving me fucking crazy.
This is something I want to bring up, and I want your Remchuk here so I can skewer him face to face as opposed to behind his back. But your Remchuk last night tweets about how we're easy to play against and we need to be tougher.
He yelled at you.
2 months ago.
He yelled at you.
He was adamantly opposed to my comments for why I think the Oilers need to be tougher if we're going to want to prolong and sustain the success and have success in the offseason, for which he, with his soft look on hockey, said, no, we'll just take the penalties and score on the power play. Oh, okay. Well,
okay, really?
Power play isn't 50% anymore. It's now more realistic. And we're getting this physical shit kicked out of us by other teams. And like I tweeted today, teams like that. So I'm like, bring Josh Manson here. They need to feel when they play the Oilers. When teams come to town, it's like a 5-star all-inclusive resort. It is such a cakewalk in terms of how easy it is. So I want to hear your Remchucks. And if he comes in, he's avoiding the grind in Arizona. But if he comes in, we have to confront this. Because it was not only just him. There's other listeners of this podcast that came after me on Twitter, and all of them are saying we're too soft and we need to be tougher.
What was this 2 months ago?
Yeah, we got to play a 12. I can't remember. Well, obviously I couldn't even remember the episode number because I don't even know which episode number this one is. But
391 ish.
Yeah, so 352. I don't know. Ish. I see it all over Twitter now about how we're soft and we're easy to play against. This has been the case when we were 16-5. It's always been the case. Now it's just people are starting to really hone in on it because we're losing, and they're starting to see the fact that we're getting physically dominated as well.
Well, he was asked about that, the toughness, Ken Hall, and he just seems so confused when asked about it. Like, what do you mean the toughness?
Yeah, he didn't even want to address it. Like, it's like, we're easy to play against, Ken. Fucking fix it. The answer's not in the room because we don't have toughness in the room.
But it's not about being big either. Like Ken Hall wanted to default to being big.
It's not about
where it's not. It's like you just got to get in people's face. It's got to be all for one. I watched a game the other night where it was Boston and Pittsburgh. It was the one where Brad Marchand was causing mayhem. And I wouldn't necessarily say that either of those teams are quote unquote tough/big, but what they do is they all get in the fight. It's everybody in the pile, and the Oilers don't do that whatsoever. When was the last time you even really saw a scrum after the whistle? You just don't see it.
No, you don't see it.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I think that the narrative is getting lost here about us being tough. Like, we added Kane. We all knew what we thought about it before, but that added toughness.
Look what a coach killer he is. How long was Kane here?
Our grit score before Kane got here was 7. He got here and moved us to 17. We still have a long way to go.
Look how fast Kane got the coach fired. Eh?
Coach killer.
Coach killer. What, like 2 weeks?
Obviously I just stepped out, but it was I don't know if you guys discussed this or not, but it was pretty evident last night that when I found out that Mike Smith was starting, a lot of people were like, what the hell? Right?
Yeah.
Now,
Everybody
a veteran guy
was
like
what the hell?
a veteran guy like him, you know, me and my wife are just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, a guy like him after a bad start, you know, first start back, he probably went in there and was like, I want back in, put me back in. I don't care. And they kind of said that on the broadcast. They were like, you know, you can't tell a veteran guy who walks in there. So then he lets the first two
Why
goals
can't you
in.
though?
It's a tough one because you need him, because you so badly as Tippett want to believe that when he comes in there and says that is a moment that it's like, if I don't let him, this could make it way worse.
But like,
I don't disagree with his logic. You got to try to get Mike Smith going.
You got to try to.
Every metric in the NHL,
but that's
every metric in the NHL would argue against playing a goalie back to back.
Of course, but he's only played 5 games.
But sometimes, sure, your gut feeling, but this is a 40-year-old guy who's made 7 appearances in 43 games. Like,
well, no,
inch him in. The Oilers have 5 games next week. There was plenty of time to get him more at bats.
But there's two conversations to have around that. It's the fact that Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen are goalies, and that's the real problem. And then there's trying to get one of our goalies fired back up.
But they also had their best goalie sitting there not doing anything last night.
Listen, you got the pros is that he comes in, he says, I want back in. The pros are, he is a warrior. He gets back in there. He rewrites the ship. He has a great game.
Yeah.
You know, the cons are,
everyone's like, fucking rights, Mike Smith. He did it. He insisted upon it. He fucking stuck his neck out and he delivered. He didn't.
And everybody would get a lift from that. Everybody would get a lift from that. The cons are, he comes 100%. In and says it. You say, no, I'm not putting you in. The metrics, they say don't do it. And he goes, well, fuck you. Like, I'm the leader. I'm a leader. I need to be back in this.
Yeah, but who's the boss on the team though? It's the head coach.
Yes, but listen, the head coach has got to be sitting there looking at him being like, if I don't do this, I could in some way maybe hinder what I hope can happen, which is he does turn it around.
Yeah.
Right. And so the worst con, like there's the 3 situations. You say yes, and you get what happened last night.
Yeah.
You say yes, and he turns it around. You say no, and you lose a guy that you could really. Like
we still lose that game last night. We still lose that game last night with Skinner and Net because of how much high danger we gave up.
But like I agree, but I also
it doesn't
don't
even
think,
matter.
But you can't tell me it's not deflating to see that you're down by 2 goals 3 minutes into the game.
It always is. But if it was Skinner, we'd be like, well, fuck. Well, we just got up and we should have put Smith in because he's still fresh. Like we would have spun the narrative around the other way. It's so easy to do.
But also, like the first shot. That is a great shot by a goal scorer who was just in the All-Star game. That's a great power play goal.
Goal. You know, it's a power play goal.
I had no problem with the first one. The second one needs to be stopped.
The second one, even my fucking 10-year-old son looked at me and was like, CC was really out of position there. And I was like, yeah, he really, really was. He really, really was. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But also look at the other end of the ice. Marc-Andre Fleury stood on his head anytime Chicago's out of position.
But we don't have Marc-Andre Fleury. That's the problem. We don't have that caliber.
But we're coming up with excuses for goaltending right now.
No. Our excuses is our goalies are not good. And we're just having to deal with the fact that we've got 2 goalies that aren't good. That's the real problem.
But the problem is that last night, Dave Tippett let the third, in terms of stats, bully him into another start.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you can't let the inmates take over the
ultimate accountability.
Well, yes, he did.
Right?
Yeah, and the irony
was why I brought
Dave knew he needed to win the game, and he let Mike Smith trick him into playing. But Mike Smith is a warrior. I still believe he's a guy who fights and competes. I got into a huge debate with a friend last night on this. Mikko doesn't have a fucking heartbeat or a pulse. He's just steady Eddie calm who just lets pucks go through him. Where Mike goes and tries to fight to win. So I rather have that beside. Now the issue with Mike is that he's 40 years old now. Like everything's diminishing on him. So he's not the same guy. So like they both suck. Pretty simple.
Look, I'm not making excuses. The reason I brought this up was because do you think at the beginning of the game there was a part of Ken Holland where he's like, I don't agree with this? And if this doesn't work,
Not his decision.
in my mind,
Coach's
he's
decision.
fucking done. He's done.
But I don't. I bet you would support it. It doesn't matter who was in net last night. We still lose that game. I don't care what we gave up, what we were giving up. I don't care. Skinner's gonna let maybe he lets in 3 goals, but we still lose.
Yeah,
that game.
I mean, who knows?
We didn't play
That's
well,
speculation.
and we're
I mean,
hitting
who
the
knows?
post like crazy, which is extremely frustrating. But still, like we have that good same fucking story as through the slide. Strong second periods, and then just completely checking out in the third, giving ourselves a chance to be back in it, and then checking out again. I know I bet on the Oilers and I'm upset because I lost a bunch of money because I actually believe they were going to win.
You know what funny about that? You mentioned that. There's been no football to bet on. It's been the All-Star break. There hasn't been anything to bet on for like a week and a half. I feel like I needed some action. And the very first game back when we played Vegas, I just simply forgot to place a bet, and it would have been Oilers and the over. So I skirt one there. Last night it's 5:45. Game starts at 6. I'm sitting at home. I'm putting my bet together, literally putting it together. I get a phone call. I start doing some shit, and I forget to place the bet.
Nice.
That's 2 bets in a row that I should have lost because it would have been, again, the Oilers and the over. So, like, betting on the Oilers right now, I don't know what the fuck to do. I mean,
I know they're gonna win. Coaching change. It's almost.
They're gonna go on a heater.
It's almost automatic. They're gonna beat the Islanders. Islanders had it easy in Vancouver last night, so I'm gonna be going heavy on the Oilers. I'm also.
Yeah, well, it was.
I'm excited.
You know, I got a nice little couple days planned. I don't know if anybody. I like the picture you guys put on of me for my birthday. That was really
Happy
nice.
birthday, by the way.
So yeah. So Thursday night, tonight I'm going to a little show at the Maybe. Then I'm going to a dumpster burning party or something where we're going to be playing the New York Islanders. I'm excited to go to this game. I want to feel the fucking atmosphere in this building, but at the same time, it could be really disappointing. We better win. I would like to know what the stats are for when a coach gets fired. The next game.
I always it's normally very good. So team's gonna be loose. They're gonna feel guilty. They'll come and play. Now we found out that Zach Cassian's not gonna be lined up for 4 to 8 weeks, and then Duncan Keith's concussion protocol. For
2 to 4.
Duncan Keith.
Yeah.
So I guess if we put him on the IR, do you get cap relief, or they have to be LTIR? And what qualifies as LTIR? Cassian can be LTIR, so we can bury that. So it opens up some cap space for us. Anyways, I expect them to win. The Chalmers, I think it's a very high. If I'm paying attention and I see an NHL team fires a coach, I normally go.
I was gonna say you love that. You love that dead cat bounce almost.
I do, and it's paid dividends. So at least we got that going for us.
Well, if I'm in the building, I usually go a little heavier. So
Yeah,
Friday
exactly.
could be a big night.
I feel it.
Could be a good one.
I'll go big with it. I'll come. Yeah, I'll come see it, Charles. You're probably sitting in them premium seats, but
Yeah, you love them premium seats. You're rich.
Love them premium seats. Love that
Drinking
$48
$80 Ryan Cokes that have no Coke in them.
Yeah. No, it's 80 for 2. No, so yeah.
before
Well, whatever.
Sorry. I'd like to pause the podcast for a second to shout out our friends at Twig and Berries. twigandberries.ca. Use promo code NATION15. If you're like myself, you need to load up on some nutsack underwear. They are comfy. They are delicious.
That's
Are
one
you
way to put
eating
it.
your underwear?
Well, that's why I need to buy more.
Yeah.
I see. You don't know enough about underwear maintenance.
Got a
Don't
nice
eat them.
nutty flavor
I've
to it.
lost a lot of bets where I say I'll eat my underwear if this happens.
You've been
And
betting
I
on the
pay-
Oilers and eat
and
your
I
underwear
fucking
and you're
pay
out
my
of
debts.
underwear?
Nation
Twig and
15,
Berries.
Save me some money. Thank you, Twig and Berries.
There you go.
I like having my twig and berries from under.
From under.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, from under.
Bag milk. Ask
Yes,
me
sir.
what Famunda is. Ask me what Famunda is.
No, don't.
What's from under, Chalmers?
From under these nuts.
Ah.
You fell for it, you fool.
Ah.
I got
right.
you. I got you, bag milk.
T-shirt design sent. I want group thoughts in real time.
I've already posted on Twitter.
Oh,
But you saw but it's inverted. You would have saw it as black. Or
No, I got one from Kennedy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're putting it out there so far. through, we've only put a couple of minutes here, but so far the nation is already on board, as you can imagine. Everybody finds us hilarious, which we are.
All right.
Merchandise the misery.
Yes, you got to.
Okay, so I've got to do. You guys talk. I do some quick work to make sure this gets launched.
Big day though.
Yeah,
Unexpected. I honestly thought so. It's funny when GMs give coaches the seal of approval. You know what I mean? It's almost like a kiss of death. January 11th, Ken Holland said he did not want to make a coaching change. And then here we are less than a month later. And it just seems like anytime a GM says that, away they go, right?
It's like
Can
when a
I
girl
ask a
texts you,
question?
no, I didn't stop talking to you. I fell asleep.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
didn't fall asleep.
No, they never.
You're getting fans, son.
Bag Milk, I was having this conversation with somebody, and my opinion was that I think that Tippett just I don't think the players are supporting him at this point. That's my personal feeling. I'm not in the room, but I would love to know what the fuck's going on in that room right now.
I would too.
This person said to me, yeah, but remember a month ago when Connor and them were all asked about Tippett and they were all saying, we support him. And I kind of my view on that was, company line. Like, what are they going to say?
Well, they can't say they don't.
They can't say, fuck this guy.
Well, exactly. But today, if you could have a candid conversation with Leon or Connor and you were in their trust circle and they told you the truth, in your opinion, do you think, because my opinion is that he wouldn't have gotten fired if Connor and Leon and, Nuge really were like, this, trust me, it's not him, it's us. We have his back.
They shouldn't have fired Coach McLellan, man. That was the right guy. I liked Coach McLellan.
I think.
What do you think, Bag Milk? I want to know.
I think that the way they were playing on the ice, the way they looked so defeated, the way they did not look prepared to play, it just seemed like they were out of it on this guy. And if the thing that
do they not like each other or something? Because at some point you got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, fuck, I know we might not buy into this dude anymore, but we're doing this for us. I want success. I want this team to have success purely because every game, every day, we're getting older and this shit doesn't just last forever. You have to, you have to make the most of your time, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they probably, if you asked them and they gave you the real answer, the frustration is probably off the charts for those two guys. You don't get to be the best players in the world by winning on a scratch ticket. It comes through hard work and dedication and all that stuff. So are they probably disappointed that their coach was fired because they're not playing well? Sure, I would imagine so. But I also bet, what Jay would say, that this gives them some inspiration to bounce back and go against the Islanders on Friday and really be like, oh, fuck, okay. Well, if you look at the standard operating procedure for NHL team and they're struggling, either a trade or fire the coach is first. And that one's out of the way now. So if they don't turn this around, there's going to be big changes and it's going to lead to an interesting offseason. And I hope that doesn't mean major problems. But
there has to be a next, though. It just can't be the coach. There's got to be more. There's got to be trades. There's got to be more stuff because
I'm with you 100%.
It ain't it right now. And the reality is, this is the reality now we have to fucking face and prepare ourselves for. That is, if we don't make the playoffs, our dynamic duo is no longer.
Yes.
It's gonna be scary.
What?
And that's
Hold on. What? Yeah.
Nah, he's been saying this for months.
Well, am I wrong?
I don't fucking know. That's the thing. I don't know. Sure, is the time up? Did Elliot say that the time was up in October of 2001? I mean, or October of 2000 said he's got 2 years. I mean, I just 2019.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I knew it was 2 years ago. You know what I mean. Anyways, I don't
What year
know.
do you think it is?
That.
He's talking to the Chronic 2001. Came out.
Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is what it is. Okay, so Wanya, I'll ask you this: do you have any worries that a rookie head coach is coming in with two huge egos leading our team right now? I know that they don't show their ego and they might not be egomaniacs, but you're now asking a rookie head coach to come in and right a ship with two of the best players in the NHL. Is that a mistake?
But like he's a
Tough one.
rookie, but at the same point, he's also been around for 100
Yeah,
years at this
that's
point.
true.
It's not like he didn't spend 10 years on an NHL bench as an assistant coach.
And he's got experience with both Leon and Connor. Like he was here with McLellan, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
that he's got their ear, but it's a yin and yang. Maybe he's a good strategist and a good like player coach, and Dave Manson's is the bad boy that can fucking put Leon in a corner and get his way.
And also look at what he said. Like, I beg you to watch his interviews down in Bakersfield when he's talking post-game, pre-game, whatever. He's a very positive guy. It's always team. So maybe the Oilers need that little bit of a softer touch right now, because you could tell over the last handful of months, Dave Tippett, he just kind of looked pissed off.
We're on the schneid. We are delicate. So a little positivity won't hurt. And you got to, that's the thing though. You're right. You got a coach that's been fighting for his job for the last 2 months. Like he's not going to be coming in and being all rainbows and sunshine. Like he's
rainbows, lollipops, and
yeah, like he's fighting for his job. So like I can see the tension. Like it's tough to hide and disguise that. So now you got someone who's coming in fresh start.
I think
Positive
that's
vibes.
my pet peeve, is when somebody tries to explain how it's like it was all good, that they use that saying like it's not all rainbows and sunshines. I don't know why that triggers me.
Why you don't
They are
like rainbows and
that triggers.
sunshine?
I don't know. No, I just don't
You don't
like
like
that.
rainbows?
It's just so lame. It's just so lame. You know what really is lame? That they had to go fire Tippett on Thursday of our last podcast before the Super Bowl. I had a whole Super Bowl show planned. Yaremchuk wasn't here. I was going to take over. It was going to be all about props. It was going to be.
Yeah,
well,
well,
now can't do any of it.
Chalmers. We can move to that in a little bit, like because everything
No, I
we've
don't want
talked
to now.
about. Well, no, but
And
everything we've talked
also-
about, we've been talking about for 2 months. Like we need
Yeah.
some major change. Okay, coach fired. Now what's next? Who are we
That's a big
trading
one.
for? Who's our goalie?
Well, an
Who-
interesting thing,
who-
Jay, is that
How are we going to
It-
address our defense now that it's been a subpar squad has been decimated? Like, what are we going to be doing? We need moves. Moves
well,
need to be made.
an interesting
Sounds
thing
like
that
we
Ken
need a
Holland
rebuild.
said was
We need a
that
new burger chef.
well, of course, the Bobby Nicks cost too much and fries are extra. But Zach Cassian being on the shelf for basically what amounts to the end of the season with a
Ride him
fractured
out. The Kucherov.
That- Well, that's what I mean. Like that opens up some space to actually play with something here to
Oh,
make
please,
a move.
enough with Zach Cassian already. Like, stay out.
No, I'm
for
talking
more than
about-
2
Chalmers, are
weeks.
you listening?
Like, enough already.
Are
I'm
you
talking about
listening
him
now?
being on the shelf, though, man. That opens up cap space.
using his LTIR cap space to
No,
bring in
I know
someone we
exactly what
actually
you're
need.
talking about, but like, I'm talking about just as a player. Like, this guy, he's healthy and then he's not, and then he's healthy and then he's not. He's in the lineup and then he's not. Like, enough already. I'm done with him. I'm sick of this guy.
I'm with
Yeah,
you.
that's
I'm
fair.
with you on that one. But now that you've got a actual opportunity to add to the team with the space that is now available because he's hurt, and I
Yeah.
think that's an opportunity that
and then-
maybe that Ken Holland needs to
Yeah.
100% needs to take advantage of.
100%. Come on, Jacob Chicken. Let's go.
I would love chicken. It's
I love
delicious.
chicken.
Chalmers,
I
I've
love
also
how
missed
you-
I've also missed a couple
What?
episodes of this podcast. Have we been keeping up with the Olympic profiles?
So well, I didn't do an Olympic profile last. I did more of a. I did.
The answer is no. It hasn't been kept up.
Hey, listen, I tried to take pride. Listen, it was more of like a. This is my guide to how to watch these Olympics, because they were just starting. We have a 15-hour time delay. I was letting people know, just like, because the Olympics right now, I'm on day 5 of watching the Olympics, and I am now just comfortable with how to do it perfectly. For the first like 3 or 4 days, you have to figure out, you have to look, you see something on TV and you go, was that yesterday? Is this live? What's going on, right? It seems confusing as all hell. I now know what prime time is watching, like prime time watching. When you want to watch some stuff that's live, it's later at night. It's like around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. You're getting live feed from like the stuff that's starting at 9 in the morning there, right? And when the worst part about it is the most exciting stuff seems to keep happening at like midnight here, which is the board cross. I've been watching the snowboard cross, and it
It's
was
so
awesome.
much fun.
I tried to go to bed at like 11:45 the other night, and the women's kept me up till 1. Then last night, the men's kept me up till 1. And, then you wake up this morning, and while you were sleeping, there was a whole day of events that had happened.
Yep.
Right? So you wake up, and now prime time there is happening first thing in the morning for us. So we're getting to watch, which is so depressing that I didn't even really realize this, but it hit me this morning when I woke up that Canada's playing Germany this morning. And if that was happening with NHL players, I would have been sitting at the pint and I would have been having a beer at 7 a.m. watching a hockey game. And it was depressing. But it takes about 5 days to figure out the time and everything. And I think I've mastered it at this point. And I'm starting to get really in. And every single person that for the first 3 or 4 days said, "Oh, I just can't get into these," I said, it's the same every 2 years in every Olympics. If it's got a bad time zone, it takes a bit of work. If you give up, then you'll never get into it. But now that I feel like I have a system and I know what's happening, I'm deeply into it. And
what's the system? I want to know what the system is.
What my system? Okay,
Yeah,
so my system is I always go to the schedule and the results, right? And on Olympics.com, they have a schedule and results page. And on that page, it will show you what's in progress. It'll show you what's finished. So you know what you're watching is live. CBC is doing it in a really weird way where the snowboard was happening at the same time as the figure skating. And so instead of, what NBC and what TSN do is they go back and forth. They show it to you, whatever's happening, whatever's important, they show it to you. But CBC is doing an hour of figure skating front to back done, and then showing you the snowboarding. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what you really want to do is you want to have the app open where you can see what's in progress and make sure that you're watching this stuff live. Now, the hardest part is the stuff that happens at 2, 3 in the morning. That stuff you have to wake up and then you basically put it on to the prime time, right? You can go and you can get the Beijing prime time or the Beijing recap for the day. And you can kind of fast forward. They also are doing a thing where they've got Olympics in 30, and they're showing you all the most important stuff in these 30-minute windows.
Mm-hmm.
You get all your Olympics that way.
Yeah.
Chalmers, I grew up waiting for foreign movies on Showcase at 3 in the morning on Saturdays to air. So it's not a problem for me to stay up late to watch the Olympics. It's not a problem at all.
I love it. I'm totally in, except man alive, a couple too many rides. I'm expecting to go to bed at midnight. Next thing I know, I'm still up at 1 a.m. and I'm not going to have one. Come on, I'm not a monster.
It's the witching hour.
It's the Olympics.
The witching hour. Plus, it's so much more.
I love how people in the Olympics, Chalmers, train around the clock for 4 years to go to the Olympics, live in an Olympic bubble, have really no fans. And then people back home that they're ostensibly doing it for are like, "Oh, it's in the middle of the night? No way." They don't even watch.
Can I tell you, I don't know, did anybody watch the women's board cross? Anybody at all?
No. I love Woodcroft, though.
They had a story that was a movie storyline. You could not write this shit. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, and when I'm watching it, they did the most horrible job at telling you this story. But the story basically is in 2006 in Torino, Lindsay Jacobellis was the best snowboard cross at that time. And she was way out to a probably 25-yard lead in the gold medal race. And she went over the last jump. And instead of just going over it, landing and going, she did what they call a method grab, where she grabs the back of her board. She tries to do a little flare and she fell. And and the other girl zips by her. She gets second. It's widely known as one of the biggest gaffes in Olympic history. She cost herself the gold medal. Okay. She then goes to the 2010 Olympics, where she's again the favorite. At this point, she's world champion. She falls in the semifinals. She loses, does not medal. She then goes to the 2014. Same shit. She falls. 2018. She's now considered one of the most she is considered at this point the most decorated world champion in history with no gold medal, and she falls. We're now in 2022. She's on her 5th Olympics.
She must be 74.
She's 75, and she goes and she just routs the competition, and she wins her gold, the long-awaited gold.
Wow.
This is amazing storytelling.
What country?
And United States, Lindsay Jacobellis. Wow. And it was so good And when I'm watching this live, if I didn't know all this, I wouldn't have gone and looked on YouTube at like all these videos. But they didn't tell that story. It was such a missed opportunity.
What? You just told us that story, but the Olympic telecast didn't?
I swear to God, they did not tell it. When I'm watching
This
it
is why
live,
you're one of the goats, Chalmers.
on Tuesday
Watching
night,
you watch sports is usually more entertaining than the actual sport.
It was unbelievable. So there's a really good, like 5-minute, if you just searched Lindsay Jacobellis falls, it's like the third video. It's a 5-minute synopsis of her 4 Olympics. And it talks at the end. It's like, she's the most decorated. She doesn't have a gold medal. And then it cuts off because it was made like 3 months ago. And the end of the story is the storybook ending. And there's no story. It's just, it's mind blowing. I mean, I'm sure it was something in the United States, but here, like I don't know. I was blown away. That's what the Olympics is all about. Storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the Olympics happening late at night because it just gives you a chance to shut down at the end of the day and watch some weird shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Good way to unwind.
Love watching the figure skating, especially. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that was
everything.
Did you watch the men's yesterday?
I don't trust anybody that can spin like that without getting dizzy. That's what I've decided.
Look at the women's figure skating. Quads have entered the chat.
You know what's also been great? The mixed doubles.
Quadruple rotation jumps.
Yeah, quad axles. They're
they can do these.
Yes, they're pulling. Yeah, it's now
What?
it's insane. Next level.
What's going to happen at the Olympics in like 2090? Like, are people still going to be breaking records, or will the 100-meter dash
it's
be
weird
like
how
2
humanity
seconds?
evolves, man? Like, where are we going to hit that peak performance?
Have you seen that tweet that was going around during the Summer Olympics that showed the rings in like 1910 at the Olympics? Like, it was really early Olympic footage, and the guy like has a mustache and a lit pipe, and he's doing like hanging on by one hand. And then they show gymnasts in like 2020 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they're like the uneven bars. Like, it's crazy how much
insane.
better at all these events humanity is getting.
It is insane. It's comical, the evolution of it. But it's impressive to see how far like human beings can push themselves and the shit they do, like the stuff they do in snowboarding or any of those big air events.
It just madness.
Absolutely insane. How can you spin 400 times and still have a sense to know where the ground is?
Yeah.
And then land. I know it's mind blowing.
Mark Morris had his run there for the bronze, and they were like, well, he needs to finish this off with the 1440. And I'm like doing the math in my head. I was like, I don't even understand what that means.
That's like 9.
And he's just spinning like a top and lands dead on straight.
It is insane. And then it's going to move beyond the 1440 at some point because they're going to find a way to go even bigger air. And shout out Max Perot, cancer survivor in between the Olympics.
Hell of a story.
Dominating. Good for him. That was a 1 in 3 podium finish for Canada on the snowboarding event.
So like right now, okay, let's do a little bit of tomorrow is a wicked day. And I'm still, you know what? I'm still getting a little bit confused about this stuff. But tomorrow at 10:25 a.m.
Yeah.
So
Jay Woodcroft takes the ice for his first pregame skate.
No. Okay, wait a minute. It's 5 a.m. there right now. It's 5:28 a.m. there right now. So in 5 hours at 10:25 a.m. is, oh my God, the snowboard men's half pipe final. Sean White. That's happening in 5 hours. So that's 7:30 tonight.
7:30,
that will be live.
Yeah.
That will be live tonight.
Could be Sean White's last hurrah.
Yeah.
I like him since he cut his hair.
And you know what's so great about it?
I'd like to see the salad come back too.
So this is a perfect example of how fun this can be. So in 4 hours from now at 6:30, the men's snowboard half pipe final run, number 1 goes. Then 30 minutes later is run number 2. And then at 10:25, the gold medal run, their third and final run. That is good times, right? Like that, and that's happening first thing in the morning there, late at night for us here. I'm looking at the schedule. We've also got a lot of skeleton, some women's skeleton.
I love skeleton. That's such a fun event.
Oh,
it's so funny to me.
Bagmouth, just interrupt the podcast for a second. The t-shirt's live on nationgear.ca. Please let the world know.
I will post ASAP.
That's so fast.
Commerce is being done.
Okay, so tomorrow morning, we're gonna wake up, and when we wake up, Canada and Sweden in the women's game will be playing. That's a good time. Wake up to that. Have a little breakfast. Watch a game.
Hell of a game between Canada and US in the women's hockey there. I think it was 2 nights ago. Did you watch
hell of a
that
game.
game?
Hell of a game.
It was fucking insane. You know, the pace that because they hate each other, right? And just the pace that they were going at one another was insane. And the Canadian goalie deserves a gold medal right now for just that performance, because Canada didn't have a lot of business being in that game early on, because the States were just shelling them. Anyways.
Oh my God. Guess what?
What?
Did you just figure out what time the mixed skeleton is at?
No. At what's 21:10? That is 9:10.
9:10.
9:10 on Friday night. Canada, USA. Men's hockey.
Oh.
Could you imagine if the NHLers were playing?
My God,
how
the end
great
of
of
the
a
days.
night Friday night would have been. The Oilers game is no. I'm such an idiot. I was gonna say the Oilers game's ending. You go straight into Olympic hockey, but if the NHLers were there, clearly there wouldn't be any Edmonton Oilers hockey. But
yes, Chalmers.
we're getting beat up. We're getting beat up on this no NHL thing. It's really taking a hit, man.
Oh, yeah.
Live. You guys probably didn't even know Germany and Edmonton.
Oh my God.
Germany
Elliot
and Canada were playing
Friedman on the Jeff.
I did, because
says
Adam-
he thinks the Oilers offered Philadelphia a 5th round pick for Martin Jones, who, by the way, I think has a worse save percentage than Miko and Mike.
Yeah,
but
why
Philly wanted more?
Oh,
Well, at least he didn't cave in like he did on Keith, but all good.
It also sucks, Chalmers, just because you're talking about the men's Olympics, is that it's going to happen right in the middle. Well, the start is going to happen in the middle of the Oilers game tomorrow. So we're all going to miss the first little bit anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I got some after hours watching. Chalmers, well, I guess before we should talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. I think it's important. It's a big game this weekend. But before we do, I think we should go through and talk about our dear friends. Everyone's a dear friend, close friend, at TradesLink, and award our hardest working player for the week. Check out TradesLink on social and online. If you're in the trades, they are the company to help you out. TradesLink.
I'm gonna give it to Coach Tip on the way out the door, man.
Oh,
He did everything except,
Good way of putting it. I like it.
huh?
You know, you know what the death kiss was for Dave Tippett, and everyone knows what it is. He never grows
No
a
mustache.
No
Yeah,
mustache.
no mustache.
Exactly.
It's-
That's what I was gonna say. He did everything except grow a mustache and
that
win.
was that was that. Yeah. So, anyways, okay, Dave Tippett on the way out, hardest working man on the way, fighting his way out of Edmonton right now.
It's definitely his downfall. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
huge
Yeah. Yeah.
Try again.
I'd like to give mine to Chalmers reception.
mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I cutting? I'm not even saying anything.
Oh well, it's
You
sure
sound like your
sounded-
batteries are dying.
Very, very robotic.
Yeah. Who's your hardest
Robbie the
worker of the week,
robot.
Chalmers? Who's your hardest worker of the week?
My hardest worker of the week. My nutsack underwear.
All
For
right.
people with the old
I
cable in,
I like the sponsor fusion there. That's very good.
I don't know. My hardest worker of the week, like for the Oilers.
For anyone,
Life,
in general,
bro.
it can be an Oiler. It could be anyone.
Award
It
it to yourself for your constant great work.
could be frontline
My
workers.
hardest worker of the week was Gary D.
Oh,
Is that
of course.
Gary D? Is that for, at the NHL All-Star game, trying to make these NHL All-Star the NHL players seem interesting. That was my hardest worker of the week. My second hardest worker of the week, Trevor Zegras. Amazing shootout goal. Do we actually think he was blindfolded?
I think he
Yeah,
can see,
well,
but still, even still,
I think
like,
he
it doesn't
threw it.
matter.
How do you know exactly where you are on the ice and pick a corner with a blindfold on?
Don't ruin magic, Chalmers. Don't try to figure it
Well-
out.
Well, dodgeballs are being flung at you.
I don't actually
Okay.
think Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear, but it's a pleasant illusion.
Guys, do I sound awful or something? Is that why you keep pausing?
Mm.
I think you
Yes.
sound great.
Bag milk, hardest work of the week.
Hardest worker of the week for me is the Arizona Coyotes for finding ways to stick around despite the fact that no one wants to watch them.
I'll tell you one thing. When the Oilers go down and play, that would be an awesome barn. 5,000 people will actually be full.
5,000 college kids.
And
too.
it's college. Like that will be a vibe in there. 100%.
It'll absolutely be a vibe. It's just it's
Comical.
interesting to have one of the NHL teams having only a 5,000 seat.
Didn't the basketball team say you can't play in our barn?
Something like that, or it's not like there's something preventing them from doing it. Because they probably own the barn, and they probably make more from just doing other events. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That's savage.
Yeah. My hardest performer of the week, hardest worker of the week. Jeez, this is tough. It's tough to try to put an Oilers focus on this. You know what? I'm gonna say hardest work of the week are the people coming back to Rogers Place to be able to serve you booze and food. They've been away from there for a long time, and they're now back working their buns off to make sure you are hydrated and fed.
Did you go to a game at all when you weren't allowed to have food or drinks?
Yes.
Were you sitting in the seats though, or were you elsewhere?
Yeah, it's yeah. I was living in the Matrix where there was a magical curtain you could stand behind.
Oh, right.
All of the anything was fine.
Hold on, what?
We'll leave it at that.
I just last night when they were doing the news that, okay, well, they're going to have drinks and stuff. And how many people were like, it'll be nice to just have a beer in my seat again. I just couldn't imagine sitting there without one. Cause I had 3 last night.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it's so weird. So that's why I'm super excited for Friday that I can enjoy a game somewhat normally again. So that's exciting. And it's still, I think 50% capacity, I think till March 1st.
Till March 1st. Yeah.
But it's a Friday night, so people can have a time if they want. And that's exciting for me. So I'm excited to go tomorrow, and we all know the Oilers are going to win.
I'm excited about tomorrow too, because first of all, new coach means wins. That's what it means.
Always.
100%. So heavy, probably puck line. Well, fuck, they're playing the Islanders, but yeah, screw it, puck line.
And the Islanders are bad.
Yeah,
This is a winnable game.
They're struggling. But you know who else is bad? The Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, looking positive, thinking up.
Yes.
New coach, new vibes. We bouncing, baby.
Yeah, we bouncing. It's going to be a good day tomorrow. It's going to be a nice Friday. And now, Chalmers, I'm going to segue so you can talk about Super Bowl. I got to bounce because this podcast had to start late because of a toilet situation. And shirts are now live. Check it out, nationgear.ca. Also, before I go, we are launching our trip with New West Travel and it's launched to Nashville. Now, I know we have some sour sentiments at the moment, but going to Nashville is going to be a great time. And it'll be going down with a bunch of like-minded people to have a nice weekend on Broadway. So check it out. We've tweeted out the link. It's through New West Travel. It is a direct flight. It's Flair Airlines inaugural direct flight to Nashville. So that is that takes a lot of the headache out of that. There's no layovers, no red eyes the way it was looking. We were originally planning this. But we're filling a plane and we are going to Nashville. So check it out. And Chalmers, on that note, I am going to step out because I got to be somewhere in 5 minutes and it's about a 20-minute drive. So
perfect.
Go Bengals. That's all I got to say.
Well, if there's one thing I know about the inaugural flight to Nashville, it's I always like to be the first one to do something because it always goes smooth. Oh my God.
Chalmers, this isn't the first time humans have flown in a plane. What the fuck? How will we stay in the air all the way to Nashville? They got it sorted.
All right. Well, listen, I also have a 5-minute drive to a 20-minute meeting. But I'm just kidding. But listen, we'll just be quick on the Super Bowl. I know that Wanya, you're just going to be on the edge of your seat for this thing because you always are.
Chalmers, we're playing for Harambe. I'm not fucking around this year.
Okay, so you are paying attention.
Go Cincinnati above all.
Go Cincinnati. Okay, so Bag,
Go
no.
LA.
Yes.
I know you like, and Waz, I know you guys like to bet, so I know you've got a pulse on this. But let's really just talk about prop bets because that's my favorite part of the Super Bowl is, you've got all your normal things like you can bet on the coin toss. You can bet on whether or not Mika Guyton, I think your name is, she's singing the national anthem. Mickey Guyton, and whether or not it goes over or under, what color the Gatorade's going to be. Those are always fun. But there's 5 pretty wacky and wild bets right now that you can do, and I just wanted to get your guys' view on these. One of them is there's an actual line on this. and this will be something that you can bet on. And the question is, how many of the Super Bowl commercials will feature a dog? Okay. The over under is 6.5, and it is split right down the middle. It's a pick 'em. 6.5 will feature a dog. If you've ever sat down and watched the entire Super Bowl broadcast, you'll know there's a good chance there'll be a handful of dogs. Okay. Everyone loves
Chalmers,
dogs.
can I just interject very briefly on this topic? Not necessarily about dogs,
Sure.
but Super Bowl ads. Did you hear about the
Sure.
bidet company and what they're doing for the Super Bowl ad?
No, tell me.
It's a bidet company, and they're encouraging people to send them photos of their post Super Bowl toilet business. And they're going to award, I think, a huge cash prize to the grossest.
What are we
one.
looking for? Are we looking for weight, or are we looking for distribution?
Optics, I think.
Cleanest butthole? Like, what are we talking about?
Well, I don't think they're showing butts. I mean, you can apply to enter any way you want. I think it's just.
You don't poop in a bidet, though. You're like, I mean, what are we doing?
Well,
here?
it's toilet business, right?
Why would a
Well,
bidet?
Anyways,
kind of
I
bidet are we
know a
talking
bidet company. What the fuck? Am I the marketing company for the bidet? Jesus.
I thought,
This is what
I thought
they're
you
doing.
want the best before and after photos of your butt after the bidet.
You take a lot of butt photos of yourself throughout the course of a year?
Yeah, I need to find
Those
more
are your
mirrors, I think.
favorites?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to get these babies framed.
Probably never.
Good thing I just bleached.
Oh,
That's good to
so
know.
gross.
What's the is it
All
over
right.
or under on the dog ads, Chalmers? What do you project?
Oh, I'm going over.
What do your prognostications say?
I'm going over. I'm feeling like there's nothing more in a world full of very unsafe things to do. There's a lot of ways that you can get canceled these days. There's only one way I know for sure that you do not get canceled and that you get nothing but applause, and that is featuring a
Be
dog
woke.
in a nice way in a commercial.
Oh.
So I would be going over 6.5.
I'll say
Now-
over 6.5. Like, that's easy money to me. Dogs
I
all
think
day.
So too.
Yeah, I'll go over.
I
that.
think so too. So one of the other things I'm very, very excited for is the halftime show. We all know that
Me
it
too.
is featuring, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. It's going to be very fun. Now, for some reason, there's been a fixation on what color Snoop Dogg's shoes will be during the halftime show.
How interesting.
Yes. Now, there is a lot of choices on this one. I don't think that I will be betting on this one. I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Hang
But
on, where
it's
I got
just-
questions because I think we can think this through. Where is the game?
It's in LA.
The game is in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California.
I bet he wears Lakers colors.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's so funny because this thing that I read said that, Snoop's from LA. Okay. Now he does a lot of stuff with youth sports there. And yellow and gold is definitely one of the favorites.
He won't wear blue
is-
or red. That's for dang sure. He's not going to be
blue
shouting
is-
out Bloods and Crips.
Blue's the legit favorite, which was shocking to me because I also thought of that aspect of it. But yellow and gold definitely is the second favorite. But
That's what I would bet.
The Lakers
Lakers.
angle is really smart, really, really smart. Now, I don't know why this is, but I would like to talk this one out. In the halftime show, will there be a wardrobe malfunction? Okay. Now, the odds on this.
Oh no.
Chalmers?
No, he lost him right at the
I
time.
mean,
No, what are the odds?
Yeah, I could see Eminem pulling off
No.
something just
Weird.
for fun.
Because
Chalmers, you
like,
keep
it's a
breaking up.
333 wardrobe. What?
Chalmers, you're
I
breaking
keep
up. I
breaking
want to hear
up?
what you were
God
saying.
damn it.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like in the same spot I've been for the last 45 minutes, so I don't really understand this.
Well, we're all talking on magic glass cubes, so there is that.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. So I don't think that there will be, but plus 950, I mean, that's pretty good for odds. But what is a wardrobe malfunction? Like, we saw Miley Cyrus at New Year's had one. But what do you think would constitute it? Like, if Snoop Dogg is rapping and one of his shoes falls off, is that a wardrobe malfunction?
I would say so.
If
Like, if
what-
Eminem's train conductor hat falls off.
Exactly. It's like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking like, or is it only something that has to do with the human anatomy being shown?
See, this is one
These are
where I would
questions-
stay away from it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. There's too many questions. There's too many variables.
If it was a vintage M&M, I could see that happening, but I can't see his current day doing anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
his,
here's one.
his beard just falls off, like
Yeah.
it becomes unglued.
Here's one that I think is really interesting for you guys because I know you're all nerds.
Oh, you son of
dare
a
you.
bitch! If I wasn't wearing my glasses, I'd kick your
No, he's
ass.
not wrong.
Okay. No, it makes sense. Think about this. What will happen to the price of Bitcoin during the Super Bowl from beginning to end?
Oh,
So the minute the ball is kicked off to the minute the clock strikes 0, what is the price of Bitcoin going to do? Now, here's why I think it's going to go up. Okay, the price of Bitcoin going up is the favorite at -130, and the price of Bitcoin going down is a +100. Now, rumor has it that the Super Bowl is going to have Coinbase, Crypto.com, FTX, Binance, and BitBuy all running ads in the game.
oh my God! Peak crypto.
People will be drinking. People will be making bad decisions. Do you think the price of Bitcoin will go up during the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
goes
because
your
you know what?
crypto god.
I think it goes up because if that's true and that many companies are running crypto things where you can just download an app and they'll be like, oh, well, if you kick in $50, we'll top it up with another 50 or however they work. I think it'll go up. I think a lot of people that wouldn't normally buy will be a little bit greased up and they'll buy.
I think so too. I think
I think there's a reason it had the negative odds on that one. You know, Chalmers. Right?
He's just gone.
It looks like he's talking to someone else. It looks like he's muted. Yeah, he's muted. There you go. That's why.
What the fuck? This guy. He's mid rant on the fucking podcast, and he mutes his own podcast.
Because let's pull the shield back. Listen, I am a busy man. I am at a job site right now. and somebody came out with a very important question, and I had to answer it. And what was I gonna? Should I have let you just listen to our conversation about electrical?
Yes.
Would you have liked that?
Yes. You know I love a good
I highly-
electrical discussion. You gonna run that
highly
cable?
doubt it. All right. Yes, he is. Now, the last one I want to talk isn't all that wacky, but I want to get your take on it because this is the one I always bet on every year, and I'm always wrong. But it seems like it should be the easiest one. What color of liquid will be poured of Gatorade will be poured on the winning coach? Orange, heavy favorite. Blue,
What?
second favorite. Clear, water.
I'm gonna say blue just because blue is the elite Gatorade
I'll
flavor.
go blue as well.
Oh, I think so. I think it's been like, man, I had all the stats for this before, and now I can't find them.
What's the over under, Chalmers? What's the bet line that instead of Gatorade, it's been replaced with Crystal Pepsi this year?
Ooh, good question.
Ooh,
That's
that
what I
would
want to
be
know.
clear.
It's a long
But
one that might come in.
But that would be clear. So, you know,
Crystal
There's blue
man.
Pepsi now.
you'd want to bet on that. So everybody,
Roz, do you know what Crystal Pepsi is? Be
Yeah, I
honest.
do. I've never tried it. I would like to try it though. Looks
You
tasty.
can't. You need a time machine or to be a billionaire.
Well, they
The
brought
only
back
people
blue
drinking Crystal
so they
Pepsi
might
right
bring back
now-
Crystal Pepsi, right? Is that how it works?
The only people drinking Crystal Pepsi right now are Fortune 500 CEOs because they kept it in the vault.
God
Yep.
damn it.
Okay, so the last thing I'll say about the Super Bowl, since we probably are done this.
Well, I've got a bold
I've
prediction
got
for
my-
the Super Bowl.
I've got my tips for how to have a great Super Bowl party. Okay.
Oh,
So
nice.
Oh, this is what now we're talking, Chalmers.
Jesus.
there's 3 things I think every Super Bowl party must have. Okay.
Nudity.
Yes. Guess them all. Drugs? No, just kidding.
Not in front of Waz.
A 6-foot sub.
A 6-foot sub. Yes. No. The 3 things that every Super Bowl party must have. Number 1, good food. Mostly appetizers, finger food, things people can come and graze on. You know.
What are we
throughout the
talking?
whole
Wings,
game.
obviously. Nachos.
We're talking wings. We're
Yeah.
talking dry
Drywall,
what are they called?
delicious.
Dry ribs. We're talking maybe a plate of nachos, maybe a couple
All the
dips.
favorites bag milk,
All
plums,
the
goat
favorites.
cheese.
And you know what? Don't be the house that doesn't have a veg and fruit plate. Okay, people don't just need meats and cheeses. We need fruits and vegetables. Okay, so get
2020
a fruit
people.
plate. Yep. But then you
It's
also have to
2022,
have
Chalmers. That
one,
was a test. It's not 2020.
you have to have one signature meal like a chili or a stew, something
Mm.
you can cook in a big cauldron, a big crock pot, something that is not, you don't have to be sitting there and cooking it while the game's going on, something that can be ready at the beginning of the game, but not eaten until halftime. It is a key. That is good food. Okay. Number 2, you need lots of beverages. Everybody needs beverages. Okay. Beer,
What are the
rye,
staples at the
whiskey.
Chalmers house? Oh, those beverages. Okay.
Chalmers will have
Beer,
a bucket
rye,
of
whiskey.
rye with a straw as mix.
A cooler if you're gonna have kids, juice boxes, lots of water, and then maybe, just maybe, if you want to have a little fun, you buy like a nice, something to shoot, maybe a fireball or something. And every time there is a score in the game, a touchdown, a field goal, you have a shot. Everybody in the party has to have one. Okay. Now, the third thing and the most important thing are you got to gamble. Super Bowls, I'm telling you, listen, hear me out. Okay. Women and men get together to watch the Super Bowl. Couples, it's always a couple event. My wife's going to come. Now, I've found that sometimes it's a little difficult for maybe people that don't know, some men, but some women, and it gets a little difficult for them to get invested in the game. They don't know the teams. They don't know the players. The one way you can get them invested in the team is to get these simple little games to gamble with. Okay. 2 simple little games. Search Super Bowl 2022 printable prop sheets. Okay. It is a list of 35 questions. Some of them are 40. You can print them out. For $5, everybody takes one. You put $5 in the jar. Everybody fills one out. Okay. You get a point for getting it right, point for getting it wrong. Questions are like, who will score the first point? Like, who will score the first points in the game? Rams or Bengals, stuff like that. Who will win the coin toss? What is the coin toss going to be? All these simple little things that are going to be a lot of fun. You get them to fill these out. They get more engaged. Number 2, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but it's squares. Okay. For $2 a square, you can buy a square, and it's basically like a graph. On one side is one number from 0 to 10. On the other side, on the top, is 0 to 10 as well. If I get the square and I go to the left and I go to above, and my number is to the left 7 and above is 3, well, at the end of the quarter, if the score is 7-3 for that team, I win the money for the first quarter, right? There's all these different numbers. There's all these different chances. It gets people very engaged. If you don't know what I mean, maybe I'll post what my board looked like last year and how we run it. Because on the left axis of the graph is going to be like the Rams 0 to 10. And on the bottom axis will be the Bengals 0 to 10. And then, so if the score's 27-13, that's still 7-3. Do you know what I mean? Fun way to get everybody engaged. Even the kids can do it. You get them picking squares. They get more invested in the game. Then everybody's watching the game. And then the game does the rest. If you're all involved in it for the first quarter, the second quarter, the story of the game, if it's a good game, it takes over. And now everybody's involved. It becomes a better party. Does that make sense?
Of course.
You're spitting truths, baby.
Gambling, baby. I usually make the board for our Super Bowl party. We're all getting together. I will take a picture of my board. I will send it to people. You can purchase it online from chrischalmers.com for $100. I'm just kidding. I don't sell them. I don't know how to do that. But those are the 3 things you need to have a good Super Bowl party. And then just, you know what? Invite as many people as you can. More the merrier, in my opinion.
Just a quick question. What are the odds that Tupac Shakur makes an appearance at the halftime show?
Well, now we're
I
getting into
believe
it.
that in hologram form,
Yes.
he will be there.
That's what I'm
You
that's
do?
what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for.
He's just gonna moonwalk across the stage and turn into a Pepsi logo.
Well,
Do
why
you
not?
Do you think that the West Coast rappers, like, why did Snoop Dogg just acquire Death Row Records? What does that have to do with this? Right? Maybe he had to buy
You get the
some
back
rights to some
catalog of all of
songs.
his old music. Death Row owned his early masters, so by him buying Death Row, he has his own music back.
Oh, really? Well,
Mm.
I don't know. Do you think, you know how everybody's trying to make like this big statements now, and West and East Coast rap's not feuding anymore. That's long since gone. But like, these are the faces of like the West Coast rap, and then there's like Eminem's on the East Coast. You think they have a hologram of Biggie and Tupac?
Ooh.
Holy shit! They just announced that they bought it today. Death Row Records.
Oh, really? I heard that yesterday.
Huh.
What are you from the fucking future? It just says it on CNN right now.
Big time, Ricky.
Good for you,
Wild.
Snoop. Good for you.
Love Snoop. Anyways, that's
Love
my
Snoop.
Super Bowl segment. I hope everybody enjoys it. The Olympics are on. NHL hockey. You know what? It's just a good time to be alive right now. The weather's a balmy 8 degrees and icy everywhere in Edmonton. I mean, life's good.
I'm loving this vibe from you, Chalmers. I'm loving it. McDonald's.
Podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
who wants to sign us off? Any parting words?
Well, no, I mean your M-Truck should be back next podcast, so I'll be gone. So it was fun joining you guys for a couple episodes here. I think this was
It's been great having you, Waz.
Okay, well let's
Yeah.
finish on this. Let's finish on this. Waz,
Yeah.
Bengals, Rams. Who you got?
I want to go Rams just because, like, you know, LA's the home city. I like seeing the home city win the Super Bowl. But Cincinnati for Harambe, you got to consider that. It's tough.
That's not what I asked you. I said Bengals or Rams, Waz. Answer the question.
I'll go Rams.
Bengals?
I'll go Rams.
Attaboy.
I'll go
Wanye,
Rams.
Bengals, Rams.
Harambe.
Bengals, bag milk.
I will go with, you know what? Joe Burrow is legit. So I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Fuck the Cincinnati Zoo. I am also going with the Bengals. That makes 3 of us on the Bengals, 1 on Waz.
Jesus
Right now, the
Christ.
over-under is 48.5 total combined score. Waz, you going over or under?
I'll go over. Let's go over.
Rams in the over. I love it.
Yeah.
Wanye, over-under 48.5.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Tie.
You cannot bet on that. That is literally not
There's
a bet.
no
You can-
0-0 in the game of roulette. You can't bet on a fucking hell's bells.
Well, the game's not going to be 24.5 or 24 and a quarter to 24 and a quarter.
Oh, so they can't get a half rouge in a Super Bowl, Chalmers? Now who's being naive?
That's exactly right. Over 48.5. Under. Well, bag milk. What do you got?
Life's too short to bet the under. Over, baby.
Me and bag milk. We are on Team Bengals and the over. Okay, so those picks you just made, we all just agreed that those are for $100 a piece, and the winner takes it all. Sound good?
Yeah. I mean, I hope a winner.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's for pride.
For pride. Put
For
some
pride.
pride in it, kid.
I've got enough money on this thing in other areas. I don't need to be betting with my friends. I'll tell you that much. Let's enjoy the weekend, everybody. Let's enjoy our lives. What we
And
got?
Enjoy our lives,
Go.
kids.
All right.
Live like
Thanks for
Dave
listening to
Manson.
another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.